Eyes are watching like cameras, waiting for a disaster. People are soon to cluster.
Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another video on this channel. Yes, I'm back. I'm back. And if you didn't catch once again the update I gave you guys on my Instagram story that I was postponing last week's Wednesday and Friday's upload, I'm sorry. This is why you need to go and follow me on my Instagram. That is at alvara.music. It's linked below and it's on the screen again. Just go give me the follow so you know what's happening. So because that's where I keep you guys informed. So sometimes if I'm not well or something has come up, best believe I will notify you guys on there. So as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm about to be explaining how basically people's misdiagnosis on my condition or whatever I was sick with, because I don't even get it till now, basically almost killed me. Mind you, everything that I'm about to tell you is recent. Like everything happened last week. It's a lot. So I'm gonna try and do this properly so I can give you guys the complete and utter facts without confusing you. But of course, before I get into today's video, first like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you're the first person to be notified when I do upload a video. With that being said, let's get into it. So, over 3 weeks ago, I got sick with an upset tummy. Wink, an upset tummy. So I couldn't hold any food down. I was becoming very weak. So I went to a doctor. The doctor told me that my entire large intestine was infected. And they gave me medication and sent me home. Alright, fine. Mind you, when he gave me the medication, he told me that if I wasn't feeling better, my goodness, if I wasn't feeling better within that day, I needed to return to the doctor. The next day came and I still wasn't feeling well. So I tried to play it off and stay at home that entire day, but it wasn't getting better. Mind you, this was my home doctor. So by the time I decided to go to the doctor, his office was already closed. So I had to go to the emergency room at the hospital that is nearest to my house, basically. So I went there and I was like, oh, this is what's happening, and da 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 da. They put me on drip for rehydration and they gave me more antibiotics, more medication, and they sent me home that very evening. Fine. So I take these antibiotics, I take these rehydration packets, all this medication and so forth, and I still do not get better. My stomach remains all over the place and I'm still sick. So the following week, on that Wednesday, I decided to go again to the doctor, the emergency room, of course, and this time with hopes that they would admit me into the hospital and run tests so they can figure out what's going on with me, because obviously this is not an infection, seeing that the antibiotics would have killed it by now, and it's already 2 weeks and I'm still sick, so it's not an infection. But I went to the emergency room and they said, because you do not look acutely ill, go home, we're not admitting you. Which is very stupid. It's very stupid. Why I say so is because you cannot look at someone and say, oh, because you don't look ill, you're not ill. It's stupid. It's a very stupid mindset. But the doctor said at the emergency room, he was like, you don't look acutely ill, we're not gonna admit you, go home, we'll give you this medications and also send a sample in so we can test it. I'm grateful that he did that though. But aside from that, I was still very upset that they sent me home. So I went home, fine. I went the previous day, sent my sample in for testing to the laboratory and so forth, and I received my results last week, I think Wednesday. Now, no, not Wednesday, Monday. I'm sorry. So I received my results and my home doctor contacted me because he received them and he was like, come into the office on Tuesday, we need to talk. Now, we all know, guys, we all know when doctors say that stuff, especially when doctors say that stuff, you get scared. You get scared because why do you want to see me? What did you find? Like, what's so serious that you need to see me in person? Like, what do you want to tell me? So, okay, fine, I'm scared and whatever. And Tuesday afternoon, I go into my home doctor's office, and he's there, and he's like, okay, so your test results came back. And mind you, I'm just bracing myself to hear the worst. He's like, everything came back negative. And I'm like, what? You guys, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Why'd you call me here? Why'd you call me here for? But he was like, no, everything came back negative, but we have to test. We have to continue testing because, mind you, I'm still sick at this time. And I was so over it at that point because, number one, I had lost so much weight. I have lost so much weight, and I was just not feeling it anymore. Like, I was just like, I don't care anymore. Which was, it's really not a good state to be in, especially with your health. You need to be very, very concerned regardless of how long something is going on, and keep pushing. If you feel that you're not feeling well, keep pushing. Become a regular at the emergency room if you have to, until they figure out what's wrong with you. But back to the story. So he said, we're going to test you. You need to send in another sample to the laboratory. We're going to test you for Helicobacter, as they did not test you for that. And just to be safe, we're going to send you for scanning. We're going to send you for scanning on your abdomen. So, okay, fine. I go to the scanning. Luckily for me, this my home doctor's office and the scanning person, the doctor there, they're all in the same vicinity. So that was easy for me. So I went there, and praise God that I received my results that very same day from my scan. And basically it just said that I had acute appendicitis. So I took that immediately back to my home doctor the very same day, and we were like, okay, something is wrong here, we need to figure it out. So then they did blood work on me and then sent me home. Why would you send someone with appendicitis home? But hey, I got sent home again, and I got told to come into the hospital the very next morning. So that's Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock to see a specialist. Now I go home and I'm scared. Obviously, I'm like, if I burst this thing, the toxins from it are going to obviously kill me. So I was really, it felt like I was walking on eggshells. I was so scared to move around, but fine, we did that. Also, mind you, he told me that if there was a possibility that they would operate on me the very next day. So they did that thing of, don't eat from this time moving onwards, don't eat and drink anything, blah blah, whatever. Okay, so I did that, and then the following morning I went in to the hospital. Now this is where things get crazy. So I get in, and my mom can't come in with me because it was like, I don't know how to explain this. Okay, so it was in the hospital itself. We weren't at an actual office where he can, evaluate me in front of my mom. We were in the actual hospital, like we were in the wards where the hospital beds are. So due to the coronavirus and everything, my mom had to stay in the waiting room, and I went in by myself. Fine. So doctor comes in and he evaluates me and so forth, and he's like, how are you sitting here if this thing is already starting to burst? How are you sitting here and this thing is already starting to burst? So that's where the craziness began, because I was like, how is this even possible? Here I am, and I'm legit about to die. So they were like, calls the nurse in, prepare her for surgery, we're taking her in now. And I'm like, what? For real? Like, I knew I might be operated on, but there's that slight doubt. But when he said we prepare her, like, get her ready, I was like, wow, for reals? So I had to call my mom. I was like, okay, mom, they're gonna operate. My appendix is already starting to burst. They're gonna do a laparoscopic appendicectomy. My goodness, that's what they did. So basically, it's small incisions, 3 of them, one through your belly button, one through the side of your navel, and then lower that on the left side. And then if anything was to get complicated, then they would cut right on top of my appendix. So I would show you, but it's just an awkward angle to stand, and I'm filming from my phone, so yeah. So that's that. So I get operated on, and I was so scared because everything was just happening so fast. I wasn't ready at all. Like, sometimes you prep yourself for these things, like, oh, okay, I'm getting operated on and blah blah, but everything was happening so fast. One moment I was changing, mind you, they even tested me for COVID in there. They tested me for COVID. They like actually came in and stuck that long swab up my nose right before I went into theater. So that made me even more discombobulated, because if you have been tested before for COVID and you had the swab stuck up your nose, then you know what I'm talking about. I don't even need to say anything more. You know how it is. You know how it is. We're in the same WhatsApp group. You know how painful that is and how crazy you feel afterwards. It feels like you were inhaling water after. So that happens, and then next thing I know, I'm in theater. The anesthesiologist is talking to me, is like, we're gonna do this and this to you, walking me through the procedure and blah blah blah. My doctor that was going to be operating on me walks in and is like, everything's gonna be okay. And I was really panicking, but before I knew it, like right before I could because I started panicking, like it felt like when the anesthesia was being applied and, like, put into my body, it felt like hot water was coursing through my veins, and I was starting to like flinch around. But before I knew it, I was already waking up in a lot of pain. I was so confused. My throat was extremely dry. It was in pain. I have pictures. Let me shift. I have pictures. So this is the stuff that was going on, and I remained in hospital until Friday morning. And yeah, I've been home ever since. I'm still in pain, but it's a lot better. I'm getting better slowly. I will be going back to the doctor today for you guys, since you'll be seeing this on Wednesday, to get my wounds redressed and so forth. But yeah, all I can basically tell you guys is, once again, if you feel you're not feeling well and people keep telling you otherwise, or just they don't pay as much concern as they should to your condition, keep pushing the medical staff to test, to find what is wrong with you, because ain't nobody knows your body better than you. If you feel something is wrong, something has to be wrong. And if even if there isn't nothing wrong, just make sure. So that is all I can tell you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next week Friday. I'll catch you guys on Friday. And also, I have an exciting announcement to make. I will be dropping my latest single on Friday as well. That is Paul. It is a song dedicated to my late brother in law, who passed away on the 10th of May in a tragic drowning. I'll talk more about that on a different day and so forth, and I'll even show you my creative process with writing music and so forth. The thing is, I tend to separate it a bit. My music and all that is on a different channel from here, but that will be linked down below, the channel to my music and so forth, so you guys can stay up to date with that as well. Thank you guys for watching. Stay safe, peace and love.